Hi, I'm Keris, and today I'm going to show you how to make a pleated face mask. It has a gap in the bottom for you to put a filter in if you want to, and this one has a paper clip inside to make a nose guard so you can bend it around your nose. I've made a simple pattern, it's just a rectangle. Again, I've stuck line paper together. It's 22 centimetres deep and 40 centimetres across, and you just cut one out of fabric. Okay, then you will need ties. Now you can either use ties, this is t-shirt yarn, but you can use bias binding or tape, whatever you want to use. You'll need 4 at 40 centimetres if you're using ties, and if you're using elastic like these ones, you will need 2 pieces 17 centimetres long. Okay, I'm going to show you how to make it. Okay, because I'm just cutting one piece out, I just need one layer of fabric, so I'm going to pin this down and cut it out. Okay, so you've got one long piece of fabric. What you're going to do is turn it over so you've got the wrong sides up, and then at each short end you're going to do a double turn over like a hem. So turn it over by ½ centimetre and then ½ centimetre again. And again on the other short end, ½ centimetre and ½ centimetre again. Now this is just a close weave poly cotton, but you can use cotton or poly cotton is fine. Okay, so now I'm going to take to the sewing machine and sew them. Okay, so I'm just going to stitch these ends down, these hems. Now, because I like to line things up, I'm going to line up the edge of my foot with the edge of the fabric, and I'm just going to do a running stitch. So forwards a couple of stitches, back to the beginning, forward to the end. And when you get to the end, a couple of back stitches and finish. Okay, and repeat on the other side. Okay, so you have the 2 ends hemmed. Now the next thing to do is to turn it the other way up and put the right sides together. So put these 2 hems together. Okay, now this is where you're going to make the opening for your pocket. So you have to leave the middle bit here empty. Empty, open. You don't want it empty, you want to put a filter in it. Right, so what you need to do though is leave a gap in the middle. So if you measure approximately 7 centimetres from each end, I like to put a little marking pin in. So, ooh, not that one though, it's blunt. So 7 centimetres ish, marking pin, and then from this end 7 centimetres, marking pin. I like these pins to be red-headed really, you know, stop, but I've used yellow and blue. Right, and then you're going to stitch down here to there, stop, start again here, and so carry on sewing. Now if you just make sure your edges are matched up here, I'm going to do a little bit of forward stitch, back stitch to the end, and go on towards this pin. Okay, so forwards a little bit, backwards. When I get to the pin, I'm going to take it out because I don't want to stitch over it, and do a little bit of back stitch and finish, and then start again at this pin. Okay, so you've got that seam sewn and a hole in the middle. Now we need to go and iron this out flat so it looks like that. Okay, so here is our hem here we did with the gap in the middle. And what we want to do is when we iron it out is we want to open it out so that it sits at the bottom here. Okay, so that bit of the edge sits at the bottom of that fold in the fabric. Iron it flat and then carry on and iron up to there. Okay. Right, so now we're ready to insert the ties. Okay, at this stage, if you want to put a paper clip in so that it shapes around your nose, you can do. This is a covered paper clip, but you can use any paper clip. If you just straighten it out, more or less, it Okay, so straighten out, and it's going to go in here. Now the thing is, you want it to be the other way around. So turn your tube the right way in. So remember, your seam bit down here is going to be little pockets down there. Okay, so what you do is you insert this in here, and then you stitch down here, across there and back up there, and you trap that in there. Okay, so I've stitched the piece of wire in there, so this will bend around and shape to your nose if you want to. Stitch down here, across and back down again. Now to put the ties in, what I need to do is turn this inside out again. Okay, so where we were with this lined up down the bottom here, and my seam up there. Now my seam will be weird now because I've put the it's the wrong way around. I thought it'd all gone wrong then, but it's fine. It was this way around, not that way around. Right, so as you can see, it's got a funny lumpy bit at the top here. Don't worry about that at all. That's just where the paper clip is. Now, like I said before, if you're using ties, you need to be at least 40 centimetres long. And if you're using elastic, this needs to be 17 centimetres long. Obviously, you can adjust this depending on how it fits. But this size should fit all. Right, so if you're using elastic, what you need to do is insert one end at this end, like that. So right in the bottom corner there, pin it in. And then this end, you need to make sure it's not twisted. And you come in, and this goes in this bit here where you've ironed it. You should have a crease here, and this goes in here. Now, what will happen is, because this is a pleated mask, this will all go a bit puckery. Puckery, is that a word? Okay, so what's happening is, because the elastic is shorter, excuse me, than the piece of fabric, what we're going to do is going to stitch it straight across, but you're going to stitch here first, then as you stitch along, you'll stretch it like that, and then you'll sew that end. Okay, I'm just going to show you how to put the ties in if you're using ties. So again, very similar thing. One end of the tie gets put in to this corner here, and again pin that in. Now with the ties, the main thing you need to make sure is that this bit here gets well tucked inside there. Okay, and then another tie at this end. So again, poke it right into where the crease is in your fabric, pin it, and then tuck all this spare stuff inside there. So that this time, when you sew across here, you're going to sew across the tie here, straight along this seam across here. Now both ends, obviously I've got two different, I've got elastic at one end and ties at the other, and you would do both the same, obviously. You're going to stitch straight across there and straight across there and seal the two ends, because you can turn it the right way in through this hole. Okay, so you're going to stitch both the ends. Okay, so I've sewn, mine's got ties in it, and what I've done is I've pulled all 4 ties out through this gap in the fabric, just so that I don't sew it into the seam. Okay, so I've got the 2 ends that are attached into the seam with my pins, but these bits, sometimes they get caught underneath there, and it's very annoying. So again, I'm going to line it up with the edge of my foot, it's being a pickle. I'm going to unravel this bit. Sometimes this t-shirt like yarn rolls round on itself. I just want to flatten it out a bit. There we go, that's better. Okay, so again, foot's width from the edge. Forwards a bit, backwards a bit, forwards to the end. Okay, I'm just going to take my pin. There's quite a lot of fabric here because you've got your layers of your hems you did earlier, so I'm just going to go a bit slower. Get to the end, go backwards a bit, forwards a bit, finish. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same with the other side. Okay, the next thing to do is I'm going to actually trim these seams a bit to turn it the right way in. So I'm just going to trim them down a bit. The other side. Okay. Then I'm going to turn it the right way in through this gap. hopefully you'll have 2 ties on each side, but we'll wait and see. Yeah, 2 ties that side. And 2 ties this side. And here's the wire that you can see bouncing about there. Right, so the next thing to do is I'm going to press this. Now, because you've got the wire in here, you know this is the top, but this open bit should always be at the bottom. So when I do my pleats, when I take it to the ironing board, I'm going to pick these up and the pleats are going to go downwards. So I'm going to do it like this. Okay, now you can measure it if you want to. If you want to get it accurate, it doesn't really matter. You just want to, I'm just pinching the fabric, turning it over, poke it onto the next bit. As you can see, it overlaps by about 1.5 centimetres, and I'll do 3 pleats. I'll take you to the iron and show you how to do that. Okay, so I ironed it out flat, and now I'm doing my pleats. Now I'm folding them over about 1.5 centimetres each time, so I'm literally just picking a piece up, putting it down, and then seeing if this is 1.5 centimetres, and putting a pin in. Okay, so next bit as well, just bending it over, making sure it's about 1.5 centimetres. It'd be nice if they were straightish. Okay, obviously the bend of the you have got the bend here of the paper clip. Okay, don't worry about that. So I'm going to lift that out of the way that way, and then I'm going to iron over this. Now my pins are glass headed, so I can iron over them. Do not iron over plastic headed pins. It makes a horrible mess, and it makes a horrible mess of your iron. Right, so now what I'm going to do, get rid of my raw edges, I'm going to stitch straight down there and straight down there. Now I'm going to go from this direction on both sides, so because I'm going down the pleat. So if I try and stitch this way, they'll fold over like that. So I'm going to go down this way. Okay, again, I'm going to line up with the edge of my foot, with the edge of the fabric. And I'm going to stitch down, like I said, downwards this way, not going the other way. So forward a little bit, backwards. As soon as you get the fabric, hold in the fabric, take your pin out. Way to the end. Backwards a bit. Finish. Right, now it seems a bit alien because I'm going to squish all this fabric this side, but that's because I want to stitch this way again. So I'm going to line up with the other side of my foot this time. Forward a bit, backwards a bit. Get hold of the fabric, take the needle, pin out. Pin out. Forwards a bit, backwards a bit. Finish. Okay, so you need to get rid of your horrible threads. And then that's your mask finished. So that's your mask finished. It's got the ties at the back. You can use elastic, obviously, and it's easy to do up and undo. Okay, thank you. Bye.